Hello. Oh my goodness, ladies. Look at you looking all pluzzy.
Oh, yes, honey.
I can
Welcome
see the
to Insaka Talk Show.
blowing.
Welcome to Insaka.
You know, the bushes are blowing. It looks very nice.
Awesome. Thank you, Irene. Welcome to Insaka Talk Show. My name is Nelly,
My name is Krista.
and we have our co-host Irene.
Hey, my name is Irene and welcome.
She is all by herself today
She had to rub that in. Cry, man, cry.
as she
Yeah.
can see the palm trees behind us and she's in the studio. We're
Okay,
in the
what
beautiful
that's it.
outside blue studio.
We are in an outdoor studio today in Cancun, Mexico. So Insaka is coming to you live from Cancun, guys. So thank you for joining us. And we have quite a lot packed on today's schedule. So hold on to your hair because we're about to blow you away. Ladies, that is. For those of you that don't have hair, hold on to your chairs.
Oh.
Anyway, we have trending topics, guys. What are the trending topics currently around the world?
Around the world, I'll say in the United States, Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck got married. She got married for the how many times?
I don't know. I'm not
That
counting.
many times.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
She found life to find love, right?
Yes, I love them together.
Me too. I
Congratulations to Jenny from around the block.
Yes.
And our president of the United States, by Joe Biden, tested positive for COVID, but from the looks of it, his symptoms are very mild. So we
Mhm.
are wishing him well. And please, guys, max up wherever you are, if you can. COVID is still here. Let's be very mindful.
Thank you to the vaccine. I think people should get vaccinated. I think that's the reason why his symptoms are mild, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
Because of the
yes.
Are you guys
vaccine.
fully
Yeah.
vaccinated? Are you guys
Thanks to.
vaccinated?
Oh yes, oh yes. I am, and I think our friends in the medical field will tell you it's no longer called fully vaccinated, but being up to date with your vaccinations,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
We don't know how many more vaccines we're going to need going
Oh,
forward. So yes, I am up to date. I've had my two shots, and what else? And the booster.
and both, yeah.
I
Okay.
am boosted as well. So we do have a trending topic, guys, that we want to talk about. This is
I'm
this is
laughing,
a
funny.
this is a trending topic in Zambia. Well, there are a lot of trending. Passage. I mean, our people are something else. So
So
it's always something, right? So the trending topic in Zambia currently is a TikTok that has been going around, making the rounds about this young man. I'll just let you watch it. I'll let you watch it for a little bit, and then we're gonna cut it.
Okay.
Banti, fyonse fija mwali nkanya, ndeilira fye nomba, ndashita. Fyonse ila kilimora mwali nkanya tiyaba iche abana. Njambiro orichero kumyanga kilimora imbi na chiramyanga. Napwako sochi monalambechi. Ndeyo na uira fye.
Vailira filapata kulifya kweva chivalisa wakalipile malaisi waipika wanaka fimbina ushanga maolenji takulifile fya kweva chivangula vakwangwila kwa vapela kokamo kuilira fye chonse mapoteto ifyo pofili ikabeji kula posa fye emuna kwati
Amabanza.
kanyanga mlefo ese ili munkanye
Amabanza.
mabanzo po
Nagia
yali
pomba fyo mndefo kumuna fangai. Fo imonika. Banti.
kuli kusala pofi not filiati yo now realize waliye kwenshi
Natotera pa kunchusha banti.
ombo pofili na kandolo munsho mo iliumu nina kandolo
Oh my God, I can't stop laughing.
So, guys, I mean, what do you have to say, Irene, about that?
You know what? It's funny because I think every Zambian has experienced that in their life, not on a personal level, but they've heard
Mm.
somebody go through that. But I think
Mhm.
it's something that happened most of the time with living with an auntie who didn't know your past, and then because your uncle brought you in, and without explaining anything. You know how uncles would just say, "Oh, I have my niece, my sister died, so she's coming to live with us," and auntie here is not ready for an extra mouth.
I don't even think it's about the explanation. I think it's just the meanness, right?
It's
Yeah,
sad.
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead, Krista.
I feel like it, and I had an aunt that was so mean to me.
Yeah.
I'm saying this because it's so sad that kids remember things you do to them.
Yeah.
of course.
No.
Yeah.
Every child is a blessing.
Mhm.
There's a reason why that child came in your life. And when my cousins look at me today, I'm a different person. And I will tell them, remember, I will help you, but you need to remember so you don't do this to the next person.
Right.
Yeah.
So for me, it's a sad and a happy ending at the end of the day
Right.
because now I'm younger, more.
Actually, I feel for you, Priska, because it did happen to me. But I think with me, I'm on a different level with this thing. The lady that did that to me died. She was
Yeah.
my brother's wife. She just literally was so mean to me, and she said, "You're so spoiled where you came from. I'm gonna teach you a lesson." That's where I lifted things on my head, making you eat the crumbs of the pot. Na no mbana ite mo if you punch power because of that
Mhm.
woman. But yeah, it rubs off the right way and the wrong way for everybody. But I
Yeah.
think this is like uh, it reminds you of something that was done in our past, but it's ugly to so many people. And I think if it's happening still, it should stop.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
So, guys, we're going to go on our first commercial break. And when we come back, we will have our special guest in the studio with us. Stay tuned.
Do you run a nonprofit organization in the education, health, and human services sectors? Do you need grant funding for your organization? Or do you need help developing programs to help you raise money for your nonprofit organization? At Vibrant Funding, our mission is to connect our nonprofit partners in the education, health, and human services sectors to the financial resources required to achieve their mission. We support nonprofit organizations based in and operating in the United States and Africa. We offer the following services to new and established organizations: program development, donor engagement and retention, grants research and writing. Contact us at www.vibrant-funding.com or email us at info@vibrant-funding.com. Call us at 404-751-6802 to learn more about our services and how we can help you to have an impact on the world. Vibrant Funding, connecting donors and nonprofits.
Hello and welcome back to Insaka Talk Show.
Hi,
Hello.
so guys, go ahead, Erin.
No, I said I wanted to just say something about what we talked about. I'm so sorry, Priska. I saw you tearing up because I think it rubbed you the wrong way. It made you remember your past. I'm so sorry that that happened to you. Yeah, I just wanted to say that.
Yeah, you just
It's okay.
yeah. Anyway, with that, on a happier note, guys, our guests today are amazing. They're Zambian Americans that live in the United States and saw the need that we needed help in Zambia. They're doing amazing things in healthcare. One is in IT. And with that being said, we really appreciate them. Amazing stuff. And then you want to introduce our guest?
Sure. Guys, please welcome Wayne Mulenga, and Mr. Future Mpundu on Insaka Talk Show today. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for having us.
Thank you, ladies, for having us. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much for making the time and coming on the show. But most importantly, for the reason why you're on the show, which we will get into in just a little bit here. So, as you've seen, if you've watched the show before, we do have an icebreaker. Because you guys look so serious, we need to kind of loosen up things a little bit so that our guests don't think you are, what can I say, the studious type, but
Especially future.
IT people they're analytical. They ain't got time to do
We awkward. We socially awkward. Let's put it.
Mwenya will do the social part for you.
Yes, I got you.
He's gonna fill your shoes. Before we can go into the program, we wanted to just tell the viewers, Prestige Wellness Foundation consists of 3 members. We have Maureen Shevers, but unfortunately she's not feeling too well today. So she excused herself, but we wish you well, my girl, and we'll call you after the show.
Yes.
Yeah. And Maureen, hope you're watching. It's a pity you can't be here with us, but I'm pretty sure the guys will represent well. So
yeah.
We have every confidence in the fact that they'll represent the trio quite well. So to get us started, Priska, do you want to do the first icebreaker?
I actually forgot what the question was.
Okay. Irene, you want to do it?
Yes, I will go with future. Maybe that will make you like laugh a little.
Okay.
Have you ever been caught stealing?
Have I ever been caught stealing?
Yes.
Cremora. Yeah?
Yes.
Milk.
So, do you want to hear the story or not?
Yes, again, yes.
So I have brother and sister who are like 9 years younger than me. So of course they were having the what is it, Nestle, the milk that
Yes,
powdered and stuff like that.
Yes, Nestle.
So I climbed in a tree and I had a whole bottle of Nestle in my hand.
Oh my gosh.
And of course I was having the powdered milk, enjoying it while my mom was sitting down there without knowing I was up there. Then she finally saw me and she's like, "What are you doing up there?" Now I have a mouthful of powder in my mouth. So she's like, "What are you doing up there?" I'm like, "I'm looking for mango," and then poof, everything just came out. So that was my mischievousness during my young. But I'm also very introverted. So even when you can say this, even when we're at school, we'll get in trouble, and it might be my idea, but then everybody will say, no way.
Future.
So I'm not as stuck up as I may seem.
or rather, you're not as innocent as you may look.
Exactly.
Thank you. Yep.
Yeah.
That's a good one. That's a good
What
one.
about you, Wayne? Has that ever happened to you before?
Oh, absolutely. Growing up, I was a very mischievous boy. So, yeah, on several occasions. And and remember the disciplining of back in the days? Like, yeah, it's most of the time when I get caught, it really led me in some problems. So, yeah.
Pop.
Wow.
Here they call it pop.
Yeah.
You know, I was telling Priska, it's very funny you mentioned that story, Future, because I was telling Priska the same about the powdered milk. You know, like you get caught with powdered milk. I used to steal baby powdered milk, baby formula. I thought it tasted good. Actually, what is that? Lactose.
Lactulose.
Lactogen.
Lactogen, yeah.
Yes.
I think there was also a Nestle or something like that.
Yeah, there was.
And then somebody said, "What are you doing?" And you can't talk.
Can't talk, yeah.
It's not enough butter. You know, you need enough. It's like candle. You will get stuck in your mouth.
Actually, that's very dangerous if you think.
It is.
Yeah, it's a very dangerous thing to do. You know.
That was funny.
Anyway.
All right, so getting to serious business now. Can you tell us how you guys met? Like, how did the three of you meet? Wayne, Future, and Maureen. And then in meeting, how did you come up with the idea of let's do this together? Let's create this awesome foundation that you're doing right now.
Okay, so it all started with all three of us having a background in healthcare here in the United States. Amongst the three of us, we have over a decade of experience in the healthcare industry. So we sat down and were like, okay, what can we do to make a positive impact on Zambia, our country, which literally made us who we are and has made us to be the successful people that we are. So we were like, okay, healthcare would be a good area to start from because we have been in this industry for a while now and we understand it very well. So we started doing a little bit of some research on the healthcare in Zambia, and we saw a lot of disparities that when you compare with the healthcare that we have here in the United States, there were a lot of disparities. And then, so after that, we were like, okay, so I think the best way for us to go about it is let's give back through healthcare. And so that's how come we decided and started with Prestige Home Health Clinic. And then Future, do you want to also add on?
Sure. So,
before Future you come in, I do want to ask, were you guys like friends for maybe like a number of years?
Oh, so Future, Future and I come from way back. We've been friends since 8th grade. We went to the same boarding school, St. Clements, in Mansa, Zambia, and then I was introduced to Maureen through another friend, Rachel, here in the United States. And Maureen ended up being my business partner. And so then I also introduced Maureen to Future. So.
Oh, okay.
Got it.
So it was
awesome. Sorry, go ahead.
So I was kind of like the third wheel in this scenario, but
you look for a third wheel.
Yeah. So we did a SWOT analysis. We looked at where there were gaps in the healthcare sector in Zambia. So one gap that we discovered was home health services. We looked at any hospitals or any clinics that offered that service, and nobody offered services like home health. We kind of discovered that there would be individual people that did it on a lower scale, but on a large scale, that is pretty much non-existent. So we wrote a business proposal to the previous ambassador, the previous administration, and we sent a business proposal. We were introduced to a Dr. Maxwell Lopez. We started working with him, having meetings with him, just as a guidance to navigate the landscape, the healthcare landscape in Zambia, because we didn't know anything about it. So along the way, we also try to figure out, do we want to bring this idea to the government or the Ministry of Health, where we partner with them and we say, we like this initiative, can you partner with us, or do we want to take it on ourselves? So ultimately it came to, we didn't want the whole situation to end up being political, knowing that every time a new government comes in, that might affect what you're trying to do. And we don't want to take away from the people that may benefit from what we're trying to do. So we decided we were just going to do it on our own. So we undertook the project in 2019. I think that's when we kicked it off, and we've been chipping away at it this long. Yeah.
All right. So Prestige has two sides of the business. There's the charitable side and there's the profit side. Could you explain a little bit so viewers that are interested in knowing a little bit about you know which direction to go?
Sure. So let me start with the business aspect of it.
Mhm.
We have a clinic in Woodlands, Lusaka, Prestige Wellness, Prestige Nursing Home Care. And like Future already alluded, one of the services that we're providing there is home health, which we introduced in Zambia at a large scale. And then we're also providing therapy services. So what happens is patients will come to the clinic, and then once they are assessed, evaluated, and started on a treatment plan, we then do follow-up visits at home. And also at times, clients will just get in touch with us for the clinical team to go to their home, do the assessment there, and treat them from the comfort of their homes. By doing this, we have seen an improvement in helping decongest hospitals unnecessarily, because when you catch a change in condition in a patient at an early stage, then that prevents them from ending up going to the hospital. So that's kind of like one of the concepts that we've created. We're also huge on therapy, both physical therapy and occupational therapy, which in Zambia is called physiotherapy. We have had very good success stories with stroke patients, patients with just different ailments needing to get back to their normal baseline through our therapy team. And then on the other side of aspects of things, we have an outreach program. So the way we're doing the outreach program is we partner with churches and other organizations who help us identify the vulnerable, poor people in the local communities of Lusaka. Once we identify those families, we then send our clinical team to go in the house, do an assessment, a clinical assessment of their health conditions. And then after that, we create a plan of care, which we then incorporate the nutrition aspect of things. So we donate monthly food supplies, healthy monthly food supplies, and also things like medications. And for those that are diagnosed with things like hypertension or diabetes, we then provide equipment like blood pressure machines and diabetic machines. By doing this, we're kind of like doing a holistic approach of not just going in and treating whatever health conditions they have, but then we're also incorporating the nutrition aspect of things, which is very important to maintain the healthy lifestyles.
Okay. So is the food stuff, do you give them directly to the patients, or they are donated to the clinic and then later on given to the patients? Or you
So,
identify a patient that has certain ailments and then you give them the food?
okay,
How does
Future,
that
you
work?
want to?
So the clinical team, of course, our clinical team will go to the family's home where they do the assessment as well as provide the food supplies that we donate.
Okay.
Let me just add that we are nonprofit registered here in the United States. We also have 9 board members from all walks of life. Um, I want to feel like we've assembled the Avengers team to tackle this situation back home, and we got a lot of work things in the works. So just
So, and then also to help answer your question, Irene.
Mm-hmm.
So currently what we've been doing is, because we've just been funding this project from our own pockets, the 3 of us. So what we've been doing is when we do our monthly outreach program, they identify which families will be supporting for that month. We
Okay.
then send the monies to our team in Zambia, who in turn will buy the commodities that we'll be donating. So things like cornmeal, things like cooking oil, things
Okay.
like,
The
uh,
essential, right?
the essentials, yes. So we send the money, then the team there buy everything, and then when they go for the outreach program, they carry all the foodstuffs with them, and then go ahead and distribute as they are doing the assessments.
Amazing. Amazing.
So you 3 partners are here, yourself, Maureen, and Future, and then you have clinics in Zambia. Do you come across any challenges like running a clinic fully, especially for you, Mwenya, since you're an RN, you're hands-on, you understand what needs to be done. Do you come across any challenges?
Yes, so currently one of the major challenges that we are facing is transportation, because again, when we go out either to do the home health services or the outreach programs, it's we don't have like a medivan, a medical van, or a
Oh,
car
okay.
for the clinic or for the foundation. So it's really, we're having challenges in the sense that we would like to reach out to as many people as possible, but due to the limited funds that we currently have, with just sponsoring ourselves from our own pockets, one of the challenges is transportation, which we are now that we have the foundation, we are reaching out to possible donors to see how best they can help us with the donation of things like minivans or minibus or ambulances. The other challenge that we've been facing is the lack of equipment and supplies. So we have been fortunate enough that we are, once the team lets us know some of the things that they are needing, at least at our clinic, we're able to send some of those supplies from the United States. But again, would like to do that on a bigger perspective, like on a broader perspective.
Right.
Okay.
So yeah, so number one challenge is transportation. Which also, when we talk about transportation, we have times when patients have like an emergency and we don't have ambulances. So we end up maybe like our medical director just getting in his own car, rushing to see what the emergency is and things like that. So if once we start acquiring things like ambulances, that is going to be very, very important, and it's really going to help us a lot, because much as we would like to quickly get to the emergent situation, we are kind of like handicapped when it comes to things like that.
Okay.
So sorry, Irene, just a second. For our viewers out there, you have heard the kind of challenges that they are having as an organization that's trying to help improve the lives of people in Zambia. Visit their website for more information on how you can participate by either your donation or just in ensuring that you are getting your health services through them for your relatives who are in Zambia. And we're going to get to that in just a little bit. But coming up, you're going to tell us how, if I have a grandma in Kawe who needs help or who needs health care, what advice would you give to someone like me on what we need to do for them, and how Prestige Wellness Foundation can help in that regard? But before we do that, we're going to go on a little break, and then we'll come back and delve into that. Okay? Thank you.
My whole life, my father told me stories about moving to the United States. He would tell me that his brother, my Uncle George, was already living here and let my father stay with him for a while. Through my Uncle George, my father was introduced to our cultural organization here in America, who helped him make connections, apply for college, find his first job, and adjust to life in a completely different culture than he was used to. The Cultural Association helped him get started on his new life. My Uncle George would bring my father with him to the annual Summer Cultural Groups Festival, and later, he would bring me. It was incredible to see so many people of all ages laughing and celebrating with food and song and dance. It brought back the best feelings of home and gave my father the opportunity to pass his culture, language, and values on to me. My father and Uncle George were very close, so when George died last year, my father wanted to honor his wishes to be buried with a traditional ceremony back at his birthplace. My father told me that because Uncle George had cultural group life insurance, he was able to afford to bring George home and have the traditional burial George wanted. Though my father had been able to honor my Uncle George's wishes, it got me thinking about my own family. One day, I'd have to make the same arrangements for my own parents, and my wife's parents as well. Of course, we would want to bring them home and honor their wishes. but it would be a financial hardship for our family. There were a lot of things to think about, even though I really didn't want to think about them at all. When my father told me about cultural group life insurance, he told me it's intended to help families when they need it the most. It's not tied to an employer, so no matter where my career takes me, I'll always have coverage. The more people who participate and the younger they are, the more it helps keep the insurance premiums down for the entire association. Because my parents have cultural group term life insurance, there will be money available to help me provide the kind of service I want to give my parents. And by joining, I can put my mind at ease and continue to celebrate our traditions into the future. With cultural group life insurance, I can worry less and spend more of my time celebrating with the people who matter most to me.
Hello, and welcome back. For those of you that are just joining us, this is Insaka Talk Show. We're in the beautiful Mexico, Cancun, Mexico. If you're just joining us, we're speaking with Wayne and Future about Prestige Healthcare. But before we continue, we're going to read the comments from our families that are watching in case they have any questions for you guys.
All right, so we have one from Betha. Bertha McBee says, hi, lovelies. Hi, Bertha.
Hi, Betha.
Thanks for watching. Another one, our Facebook user says, hello, ladies.
Hello back. Hey, that's mommy. That's our spiritual mother, Mrs. Naomi Sengawila, and that happens to be Nelly's mother. She says, hello, looking beautiful as usual.
Thank you.
Williamsonda.
Where are you, man?
Our
You're drinking Mosi in Zambia, B.
Hello from Zambia. I miss you, ladies. We miss you too, love.
We miss you, love. And she says, looking good. Thank you. Okay, this is a Facebook user. I think this is in regards to the little video clip that we showed.
Okay.
They say, for me, this video also humbled me in a different way. Like, look at these guys, so content with what they have. Simple cremora, potatoes, rice, and whatnot. I just feel like we take a lot for granted. We sure do.
Absolutely, yes, I agree.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Ida says it's okay to cry. Tears make us strong.
Yes, they do.
Chiyiwe, Tandiwe.
Oh, Tandiwe.
Love.
Tandiwe says, give Mwenya my love.
Oh, thanks, Tandiwe.
Princess Wangala, hello, beautiful queens. Happy Sunday. Hi, Princess.
Hey, Princess.
Much love, honey. And then she says, by the way, she's, getting into healthcare as well. So she says, very informative, good job, team. Tawera says, how are you doing, my beautiful ladies and guests on the platform?
Hello, Tawera.
And Princess says, Winnie, enjoy your stay at home. And then we have one last comment here. Great job, Mr. Mwenya, Mr. Future, and Miss Maureen. Another reminder that we don't have to be millionaires to give back. That is from Zenith Malawi.
Thank you.
Thank you, Zenith.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. All right, so now that we've heard from our viewers at home, our Insaka family, can we get back to where we were? And Irene, would you like to ask that question for us to kick us off?
Yes, I had a question. If the people in the diaspora are watching this and they have family members that are ill or unwell or health challenges, can they send them to Woodlands, to your clinic, and then they pay over here? Is it possible for them to pay for the services over here and then they just send their relatives to your clinic?
Yes, we actually have a few people who are close to us, who are friends, who have family members that have been going through health issues, and we connected them with the clinic. They made a payment to us, and we sent the money to the clinic. And it's simple. They can reach out directly at the clinic, and we'll send clinicians to either to their house where they'll be assessed and see what the needs are. If the needs require the person to be home, we'll just send people there. But if they can go to the clinic, we're open to that. And we are NEMA accredited. So a lot of people over the age of 65 can easily get services from us.
Okay, good.
Yeah, and then just to add on to that, other than NEMA, we also have other major insurance companies in Zambia that we have partnered with. So, and most of the insurance companies are able to pay for the services that we're providing. And then, like Future said, we've actually had quite a few people who have had family members, and depending on the needs, we either will do like a 12-hour shift, where if the client is needing 24/7 care, we provide 12-hour shifts where a nurse will go in like for 12 hours, and then another nurse will come in for 12 hours. So then there's that continuity of care. And then if for any reason they really don't need the services of a nurse, we are also providing caregivers where we can provide the caregivers to go into the client's home and provide the services that are needed. And these services range from helping at home with, cleaning of the house, cooking, shopping, and things like that. Yep. So all those are some of the services that we are providing. And then another advantage is once we take up the case, in case there's any change in condition, we're able to send our clinicians, like the doctors, to go to the home, and we're able to do things like labs from home, and then follow up with treatment once the results come back.
Okay, that sounds good. I think, Priska, Nelly, you had a question about elderly people at home, what advice they need. I can't remember how you asked it.
Yeah, I think it's so we've touched on the clinic being in Woodlands, right? So my grandmother is in Cabo, and if she has any health ailments that I feel like the Prestige Foundation could assist with, is that something that, do you have clinics in other provinces of Zambia, or is it just restricted to Insaka? Do I have to send her to Insaka for treatment?
So currently we're in the process of expanding, and our ultimate goal is to have Prestige clinics in pretty much all the provinces of Zambia.
Right.
And so for now, if you wanted us to provide those services for mom in Kabwe, we are able to partner with other clinics and then outsource some nurses or clinicians that we can hire, and then they'll be able to go in and do the assessments, because we already have the program in place. So once we are very flexible, once we start getting clients in other provinces, we're definitely going to come up. We have a system in place where we will partner with a particular clinic, and then we'll hire nurses and caregivers from that particular town to kind of like promote and help with the employment situation and stuff like that. So yes, that's something that we'll be able to do. And also now with telemedicine, we'll be able to send a clinician, like let's say a nurse, who would then video conference with our medical director if he's not able to travel, and then based on the telemedicine assessment, initiate a treatment and create a treatment plan for mom in Kabwe. So to answer your question, we're very flexible, and yes, that's something that we'll be able to do.
Okay.
Amazing. I was just about to ask about telehealth. That's a great to add. Amazing.
Yeah, I think telemedicine. Go ahead.
No, you can go ahead, Nelly.
No, I was just going to say, I think telemedicine is now the future. If anything, COVID definitely taught us that, hey, I think most of the appointments I've had personally have been through telemedicine since COVID. My doctor just gives me a link. I turn on the computer and I'm like, hello, what's hurting? My head. It described the pain. But yeah, it helps though.
That's true, yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it helps beyond
Absolutely.
necessary. You eliminate the need for transportation, which is a big thing for
Yeah.
our. If you're able to get on WhatsApp and talk to a patient
Yeah.
and they describe what they're feeling, they have the video on, you can see some of the visual symptoms. I think it's helpful.
Yeah,
Very well.
actually, that has been working to our advantage, especially when it comes to wound care, because wound care is one of our specialty areas as Prestige, in the sense that I'm a wound specialist. So what we do is when we get a new case involving wounds, we then video conference, we do the telemedicine with the team, we assess the wounds, and then with some other wound specialists here in the United States, we kind of like guide our team on the best treatment modalities. By us having been doing that, we have seen some success stories where we've literally healed wounds which family members were like, okay, these have been chronic wounds. Dad has had these wounds for years and years, and then we've managed to have success stories like that. And on a larger scale, we're looking at eventually we're going to also start partnering with other specialties like cardiologists, nephrologists, and so on and so forth, to make sure that even though the specialists are not directly at the clinic or in the patient's home, we're still able to treat them using telemedicine. And yeah, so that's part of the things that we have in store and have been already doing.
With the amazing work that you do, are you hiring yourselves, like the three of you, during the interviews, or do you have an HR? I'm asking for somebody that's in Zambia that feels like they will be an amazing add-on to your team. Are you doing the interviews yourselves, or do you have an HR company?
I can answer that. So when it comes to the hiring process, we hands-on. We start by doing a phone interview. We screen a person, see how they're responding, whether it's a good fit or not. Then after the initial phone interview, then we go to another Zoom meeting where we set up a Zoom meeting with them. We interview them via video. That way we see whether they'll fit into what we're trying to do. The biggest thing we pride ourselves in is customer service. I've had a lot of family members complain, like, "Hey, natural hospital, clinic hospital, Angela, stuff like that." So
Yes.
we want people to go to the clinic or whatever sector we're working in at that point to feel like the attention is just all about them. So when we interview people, we're looking for those cues. Are you going to be the right fit for what we're trying to do? Are you going to be, we have hands-on, and I want to recommend the team that we have in place. I think Irene, you had asked a question that I think also touched on, do we have any challenges running a clinic while we're here? We have come up with a good team. I know in the beginning we had challenges trying to, make sure everybody's reaching the expectations that we have. But we also have weekly meetings with the staff. We also have town hall meetings with the general staff. I mean, we have weekly meetings with the executive team. Then we have town hall meetings with the rest of the team, where we talk about issues they're going through. What are the challenges? What can we do better? What are we doing okay? What we're not doing okay? So we have that going, where I don't think a lot of companies do that, where they talk about what we can do better as a team. So when it comes to hiring, we haven't got to a point where we can have a HR team that will focus on that. We're doing it ourselves because pretty much we're still on very infancy stage of the company. So we want to make sure we have the right team. And I gotta recommend the team that we have. They're doing a wonderful job. And if you have people that want to join us, the best way is to send resume, CV, as I call it in Zambia. We'll look over it. Initially, what most of the people that we have on staff, they started as volunteers. They learned the process, then we brought them on board. We don't have a large staff right now because we we're still trying to build clientele and whatnot. But as soon as we able to reach more people, we'll have room to hire more people. But people are always clients are always welcome to apply, and then we'll go from there.
You know, I am very glad that you touched the customer service. I'm not trying to diss my country, but customer service in Zambia is terrible. So, and then now in healthcare, it's supposed to be everybody who works in healthcare, they're supposed to have bedside manners.
Right.
Because when somebody comes in the hospital, they're not feeling too well. And just you know, like mentally, you just think once you get to the hospital, you even feel better because you say, okay, the doctor is here, he's going to tell me what to do and I'm going to feel better. And then you find somebody who's rude to you. That even aggravates the pain that you come in. So when you guys complement this, the customer service into your healthcare strategies, that's going to be a selling point for you because everybody is going to be running to you like that place. Everybody greets you. Everybody wants to find out what you ate, how you're feeling. Those little things, they matter to somebody,
Yes.
you know?
I agree with you, Irene. The worst customer service I've ever experienced in my entire life was in the hospital in Zambia.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Zambia has terrible.
The worst, as in my entire life, my whole existence.
Mm-hmm. And you see, and that's the good feedback that we've literally been receiving.
Yeah.
We've been getting like anonymous calls from people, and they're like, wow, you guys, like it's, and I mean, it's so touching when you receive a phone call from someone that you don't even know,
No,
and they
exactly.
tell you like, wow, you go to the clinic, it's like uniform. Everyone has just got that good customer service.
Yeah,
When they
that's
go out to
everybody.
do the outreach, it's like they're treating everyone with respect. They're treating
Mhm.
everyone like a human being and just
Yeah.
going above and beyond, regardless of whether it's the poor people that they're going to take care of
Mhm.
or, yeah. So really, we've been getting good feedback on that.
I give it to you. I salute you.
Yeah.
I've been one of those people that's been in and out of the hospital in my adult life, so I understand, you know, customer service in the hospital. I don't know what happened to you, Nelly, but I'm with you because I've seen it all.
Girl,
I was just going to follow up with a question. Are you providing some type of training to, like, just pick on a few things from here? Like, I think America has the best customer service in
Oh,
healthcare,
yeah.
especially
Mhm.
in nurses. Like, our ends to
they
me,
charge us a lot, so yeah,
Yeah.
they should have good customer service for it too.
Yes.
like you taking from here, implementing them there. Also, like things like CPR, just how to do it properly and things. Are
Yeah.
you providing that kind of training?
Absolutely. So first of all, once we hire our employees, they all undergo part of the orientation. We have created our customer service training.
Nice.
So each and every person that has been hired, starting from the doctors all the way to the cleaning staff, we
Great.
we all undergo that. And then on a monthly basis, when we have our town hall meeting, we utilize that to do some training. So based on the trends that we notice going on, and also like the good trends that we notice here in the United States, we then incorporate in services. So we provide monthly in services to our staff,
Mhm.
basing on things that will help us with the care that we're providing, and just generally just general trending things that we notice and see that it would be beneficial to the clinic and our
That's
staff.
nice.
Yeah,
That's
so we
nice.
definitely do ongoing in services, and then we also have an advantage, the fact that I'm a nurse consultant here. Part of the
Right.
things that I do is education. So
Okay.
we are really huge on education, not just for the staff, but also for the patients. When we go
Yeah.
to see the patients, our nurses are doing that patient teaching on different things like nutrition, things like depending on the ailments that the patient has, hypertension, diabetes, and stuff like that. So we are huge on education.
Okay.
That's great. That's
That's,
very important.
that's very cool. For Ministry of Health, what changes would you want to see? Since you started business in your company in Zambia, I'm sure you've stumbled on some things that are under Ministry of Health that you would like to see change. What would you highlight on that?
Okay, so the number one challenge that we have seen is we really don't have a proper level one trauma hospital in Zambia.
Okay.
When you look at some of the hospitals that we've worked in, level one trauma hospitals that we've worked here in the United States, it's not even comparable to what we would consider to be a trauma hospital like University Teaching Hospital or Levi Mwanawasa. So one of our biggest dreams and visions that we have is we are planning on building the first level one center hospital with the standards of the United States.
Great job.
We are looking at part of what projects we're working on with Prestige Wellness Foundation is acquisition of land in Zambia. So we're looking at acquiring about 15 acres of land in Lusaka.
Nice.
Once we acquire that, this land is going to have we'll start with building up on the clinic aspect of things, because right now we're just renting the clinic that we're at, which has limited us in expanding as much as we would like to expand. So once we acquire that land, the next phase will then be building the clinic, a bigger clinic, which will have things like dialysis. It will have our own lab. It will have radiology department where we'll have like the X-rays, ultrasounds, CT scans, MRI, and so on and so forth. Then on the other aspect of things, we also want to utilize part of that land to sustain our outreach program. So we'll start growing gardens, things like tomatoes, vegetables, corn. So then that way we'll self-sustain ourselves by the projects that we'll be getting from that part of the project is what we'll be using to donate to the needy in the communities. Yes. And then once we finish that phase, then the final phase will be the one that we're now going to expand and build the level one trauma hospital, and also be able to provide ambulance services, so that way if we have emergencies, we want it to be like the way it is here in the United States. You call 911 and the EMT team is there within 5 minutes. That is how we're trying to revolutionize the healthcare in Zambia. And that's the vision that we have. And it is already in play, and we're really excited about it.
Nice.
So with just a few minutes left here, I can't believe it's already an hour. But without wasting too much time, I do want us to talk about part of the service that you're introducing to Zambia is, we discussed this off air, of course, but I would love for our audience to hear about this. The occupational health or behavioral health, services such as rehabilitation for alcoholism and drug abuse. Can you tell us more about what Prestige Health Foundation has in store or in the future plans for those type of services for our people?
Okay. Yeah, I'm not clinical, so I'll give the layman version of what we're trying to do. Mental health is a big issue. There's a stigma in Zambia. There's also people not just wanting to talk about it because they will be stigmatized. So we want to have an anonymous type of situation where a person can go there freely, and we talk to them about, be it mental health, be it substance abuse. Substance abuse in Zambia is a huge thing. I know there's some doctor who posted about a ban for alcohol and stuff, and he's being just
enough.
Yeah. But I don't think a lot of people understand that alcohol is a poison or anything that we put in our body. You have to be respectful. Culturally, we love to drink, but we also have to do it responsibly. And if you're going to do that, I think you should be also open to conversations, especially when it comes to the abuse of it. We've seen people lose lives because of alcohol. But then we don't want to acknowledge it. We want to say it's not a disease. It is a disease. So I think when people start changing mindsets about this is an issue and it's a disease and it kills, I think those forums of talking will change. So our hope is that when we open this occupational clinic, people will be able to go there without feeling like somebody's going to laugh at me because I was there. And I think the other biggest challenge is not having a bridge between the Ministry of Health. I know you did ask what's the challenge. There's no, it's kind of like you have to go through hoops to get to a point of contact. You don't know who you need to talk to about stuff. If they can be transparency about who you can go to when you want to talk about stuff like this, it'll make things easier for people that are trying to make a change.
Sure.
And then just to add on to what Future has said, yes, mental health is one of our biggest areas because we've seen the challenges and the suicide rates because of the stigmatization of mental health. So one of the things that we are creating is by utilizing the home health services, we'll be able to send out counselors, will be able to send out doctors, like psych doctors, to go in the patient's home, and that will prevent the patient from feeling that stigmatization of going to like a mental health institution. So so that will help people to even be more amicable to being treated of whatever mental health conditions that they have. And then we're also going to provide a 24/7 helpline, which we will have counselors available if someone wants to talk, if someone is feeling suicidal. And once we create that rapport with them, we then can arrange for them to be seen either at home or if they would like to come to the clinic. So that's part of the things that we are working on.
Yeah, so I'm just going to read this real quick. One of our Insaka family just commented here saying mental health, Princess Mangala says mental health and substance abuse is high in Zambia. People don't talk about it. Glad it's one of the areas you're tackling. And I think Torero was referring to, just poor customer service in hospitals when we were talking about customer service. Zenith says, golden hour, love it, love it. Let's see. She also said, I love that, Mr. Mwenya. I work at the Shock Trauma Center here in Baltimore, and I always think to myself, is this possible in Zambia? So she's referring to the trauma as, the level 1 hospital that you are planning on implementing or building. And then Zenith says, I was kicked out of the hospital.
She was a nurse, that's why she was asking.
Because I asked the doctor questions. I took a friend, can you imagine? What?
But I think as people as well as patients, Zambians don't ask a lot of questions. They feel like doctors attending to them, they're doing them a favor. No, they're there to provide a service. I've heard from my own family members who will go to a hospital and they put the wrong drip on their hand, and they're like, okay, this is what happened. I'm like, do you even ask what they're putting in your body? And usually they don't.
Yeah.
That's not like a drip.
They don't know.
Even blood transfusion.
Right.
That's
and we have a Facebook user that says nearly every hospital in Zambia has a mental health department. It's just the stigma that comes with mental health in Zambia. So
I don't know that.
Well, the healthcare workers, they don't help the situation either, because I can come with some mental challenges because I went through like a PTSD moment. And the nurse is by the door, me, I'm like 5 meters away. Can I help you? What do you want? Things like that. So already that's like, everybody's gonna know my business. So I I will tend to share.
Right.
Privacy.
So you shut down because
No, I have a headache or a stomach ache. I won't say exactly what's going on with me because she's already challenged me with the approach. So the healthcare workers need to go through this process of customer service. People think customer service is not just healthcare; it's everywhere.
yeah.
You know.
And that's
Speaking of
exactly
that,
what, yeah. So to answer that question, yes, most hospitals have the mental health department, but it's a lot that's missing. And that's what we're trying
Yeah.
to bring. We're trying to bring that approach of how we do the mental health here in the United States, where you start with the confidentiality, where you're looking at when a patient is coming, make them feel welcome and have that listening ear.
Yeah.
So yes, mental health departments are there, but the standard that we're trying to bring it in is where we're going to fight the stigma, and the stigma will be fought because people won't even know that a patient is coming in for mental health and stuff like that because of that confidentiality aspect of things.
Mhm.
I wanted to touch on what Irene said. Like you hear, and then Manis Balikuche, can I help you? That's the violation of HIPAA.
Yeah.
Does that even happen in Zambia? Are you guys doing in your clinic? There's that privacy, right?
HIPAA, HIPAA is huge for us, and that's part of the onboarding that we do. That part of our orientation when we hire our staff, we have adopted the kind of like the training that we undergo here regarding HIPAA and making sure that all of our staff are on the same page when it comes to like the privacy of the patients and patient information. So yes, we're already doing that at a Prestige. It's part of
Great
our
stuff,
onboarding.
because that's what make people not, and I'm just gonna touch on this, people that when first HIV came, they were afraid to go to the clinic,
Yeah.
get medicine because abantu balambona, you know?
Yeah.
So a lot of people were safe, didn't take medication because, and I appreciate the fact that you're applying that paper and the confidentiality as well. That's
Yeah.
great stuff.
Yeah, and just in conclusion, there was a neighbor in Zambia that said they don't want to go to the clinic and get their HIV medicine because the nurse would say, send them to NYS.
Yeah. Yeah.
And actually, they don't even know the difference. There's a difference between HIV and
Yeah.
AIDS,
Yeah.
but everything is categorized as AIDS. AIDS
Yeah.
is actually HIV is the beginning of the virus itself, and then it progresses to AIDS when you neglect certain things in your wellness, like you're not adherent to medication, your nutrition is off, you take a lot of substance, even alcohol, and then you don't take care of yourself, and then it will progress into AIDS. So people don't know; they just think, "Oh, Aliwala AIDS. Oh, he has AIDS, or she has AIDS." Doesn't work like that.
No.
But anyway, that's another story on some other show. I don't know.
I wanted to add on that. I know we've gone a little bit over our time. Are you guys planning on opening a school, like a CNA school, where you can train
Yeah, I
people
thought.
at the
Yes.
proper administration of medication?
Yeah.
Yes. So remember, we mentioned about the 15 acres of land.
Yes.
Part
Right.
of what we are also going to do at that property is we're going to start a CNA school, so certified nursing
Right.
assistants, and nursing school, because
Nice.
again, we want to bring that standard that these students that we'll be training. Not only are we training them at that high standard, but then they'll also be guaranteed of jobs at the
Mhm.
various clinics that will be opening in the various neighborhoods and also at the hospital itself. So this is going to be a win-win situation in the sense that we not only are we going to train CNAs and nurses, but then they'll also be guaranteed of jobs, which will help with the high unemployment rates that we're currently experiencing in Zambia.
So I
Nice.
wanted to show this before we go. This is, some of your team members here. So are these CNAs? Are they nurses?
So
What
we
are we
have
looking
our
at?
a future.
Here,
Do you want to answer?
so there's a couple clinicians here. There's a
Mhm.
nurse and there's a physician. Physical
Yeah,
therapist.
medical director and also a medical director.
Okay.
I don't think Dr. Zimba is in this one.
Oh, okay.
No. So it's just two clinicians, one nurse, and two clinicians, two nurses, and one physical therapist.
Okay, that's great.
And what about this one here? What are we looking at here?
So that's part of the outreach program. So when we go for the monthly outreach program to donate the foods and then also do the clinical assessments.
Nice.
So we do have a short video clip that we're going to show you about what Prestige Wellness Foundation is doing. So that is going to be in conclusion. But guys, we just want to thank you so much for being a part of the show today and spending time explaining to us what you are doing, bringing light to the world. We appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
Anything you want to say in closing?
I just want to say thank you so much for doing what you're doing, especially for Zambia. I left Zambia when I was young. Growing up outside Zambia, my worry was healthcare was a mess. And I always said, why can't all the nurses that are here do something about it? Not knowing that you guys are doing it. With what you're doing, God bless you. Keep on doing it. Any help, anything that you need, Insaka is here. This is why we started this show, to bring awareness to this.
For me, you've made Illinois proud. I'm so proud of you guys. The fact that you come from my state, and you and me, Wayne, we've talked about your journey for a very long time. For me to have you on our show and talk about what you have done so far, it's amazing. I hope the people in Chicago can actually see the fruits of your labor and appreciate you, because I think that's what we lack in all states. We don't know how to support each other. These guys have been doing this for a very long time. They shouldn't be coming to Insaka to showcase what they do in order for somebody to follow them. They all have relatives back home. They can all benefit from Prestige, but they're sitting and watching and not saying anything. Get out of your shell and say thank you, Wayne. Thank you.
That's it.
My relative, my JP.
No, thank you so much, ladies.
So
We're
much.
very humbled, and we receive those blessings in Jesus' name.
No.
And we'll see you.
We'll see you
We'll
soon.
see you at the bench soon.
Oh, yes. The countdown.
Yeah.
Just watch. You'll see us at another
We're counting
destination.
down, yeah.
All right. Well, thank you.
Wow, Future, sorry, we cut you off. Go ahead. You were going to say something.
Oh, no. I was just saying thank you for having us. This was a pleasure. And on behalf of myself and Wayne, we apologize. Maureen is not feeling well, but I hope we represented her well.
Yeah. And then also in conclusion, so Prestige Wellness Foundation, we are accepting donations. As we have discussed, we have major projects that we are working on. So we are open to donations. You can go to our website and you'll be able to see some areas that you can help donate, either via money, supplies, even just in-kind credits. So yes, so we will really appreciate whatever donations that we can receive from the viewers out there. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.